Okay, so, I got a couple people popping in. Glad to have you here, everyone. Today is World Teen Mental Wellness Day. Super, super important, I think, especially right now when like it is tough to be mentally like happy and like mentally in it today. And like this whole year, as we come up on a year of being in our little boxes, our little houses. So I think it is super important that we think about like how to take care of ourselves as well as how to take care of other people who might be feeling kind of down. Yeah, coming up on that year. So if you are struggling, here in white are some things that like you can remember. Asking for help is a sign of strength. I actually had a student ask for help this morning and I was like, you go kid, I love it. Thank you for asking for help. So I appreciate that. Living a healthy lifestyle helps keep our brains on point, right? So like getting enough sleep, eating good food, going for a walk, all those things help to keep our brain in motion, even if we don't always feel the best. You have power, so think about the ways that you are awesome. Know that could definitely help. There are lots of coping skills, lots of coping things that we use. So find your coping technique and surround yourself with people who are healthy for you. This doesn't always mean like super happy all the time, right? But healthy for you and the space that you're in, right? They don't make you feel worse. So those are things you can do if you personally are struggling. And then I'm sure all of us know someone who is having a hard time right now. So these are some things that we can do to support them. So seeking to understand what they're going through, asking more questions. We can reduce stigma by increasing awareness, right? So days like today, the whole idea is to make sure that people understand that we can talk about it, right? I know in some of our cultures, like in my family, we never talked about mental health. When I told my parents that I was going to a therapist for the first time, when I was in my late 20s, right? They were like, why? We don't do that. And I was like, it's really important for our mental health that like we seek professionals if we need them, kind of thing. So one of the things that we need to do is reduce stigma so that everyone feels more comfortable reaching out for mental health. People who are struggling might need space, but we can let them know that we're there for them. Being consistent really helps. So like just checking in week to week rather than just like only checking in once. And then positive vibes are contagious, right? So I think like not like toxic positivity where we're just like always positive all the time, but being positive with a person who's having a hard time can sometimes help them to be more positive themselves. So these are some super important, very quick, obviously not all of them, ways to help or to be helped yourself. What is your favorite way to take care of yourself? My favorite way I found during the pandemic is going for a long walk. I used to like running, but then during the pandemic, I feel like I just really like walking. Like after a long day's work, can like de-stress, and it helps me to like recenter my brain. It's part of like living a healthy lifestyle, I think. So what's your favorite way? Maybe you listen to some music, maybe you whatever. Put it in the chat. What are your favorite ways to take care of yourself? Maybe have like a little spa day. Eating healthy and working out makes me feel so proud of myself and strong. Yeah, definitely. For sure. Watching Netflix shows. Yeah, it's a good way to take care of yourself. Working out, drinking a lot of water. Yes, absolutely. Music, absolutely. Chatting with your family. Yeah, making those connections, super important. For sure. Sometimes I just need to take some breaths. That definitely helps me sometimes. For sure. Yeah, I think all of these things are really good ideas. Thank you for letting me know in the chat. Amazing. Yeah, so I also just like to wrap this up, I want to make sure that you know that I'm here for you. If you are having a struggle point or whatever, I am happy to chat with you. If you're losing motivation just because like life is hard and we've been doing this a long time, I'm here for it. I'm happy to chat with you. And I would love to get to know you further. So I will drop that attendance one more time, but let me know if there's anything that we can chat about. All right, from there, just gonna like full barge into our agenda today. we're gonna do some quick announcements and then our notes and our assignment, okay? I'm super pumped to get back into Trig. I will tell you this later, actually. I won't get distracted right now. So our announcement is, it is week 8. There are 11 weeks in this quarter. So there's like this rest of this week and then 3 more weeks. So week 8, 9, 10, and 11. Today, we're gonna do assignment 29. And on Thursday, we'll do 30. And then next week, just so you have like a viewpoint of where we're going, we're gonna do 31 and 32. And then in the 2 weeks after that, the last 2 weeks of the quarter, we'll work on PT. Super pumped about the PT. It's gonna be on financial literacy, which I know some of us in this room are like super like awesome at already. And some of us are like, that's something that we're interested in. So pumped for our PT to happen during that time there. Are there any questions about the last few weeks of the quarter? Any questions? Cool, cool. All right, cool. I just pulled up the last, these are the last 3 assignments that we've done. So the quiz corrections, and assignment 28. If you're on this list, that means I need you to submit or resubmit. You might have submitted the first time, but I might have put a comment on your assignment. So if you do see your name here, please take a moment to check out Canvas or submit them. Just a reminder to those of us who might still be working. And then we're gonna go ahead and switch over to our notes. Let me throw this poll to you. Are you ready to take notes? Do you need a minute or do you need 2 to 3 minutes to be ready as I switch my share? If you need that minute, take it. If you need the 2 to 3 minutes, take it. You got it. As I get mine set up here as well. And then Galilee, could you go to the Canvas page and just post the notes page? The notes 29 page looks like this. Most of it's blank, but could you grab the Google Doc link and post it for anyone who's looking for it? Please. Yes, she's still on it. Thank you, Galilee. You're an excellent greeter. So Galilee's got the notes for you in order to make that happen. Maritza, yes, I can. I don't know why it's not letting you. You are technically in one. I'll just move you to 8. If anyone else would like to go to a breakout room and isn't able to navigate there, just let me know in the chat if you're someone who wants to go to a breakout room to work on the notes today. Breakout rooms are open, so you should be able to jump into them. So if you are trying to watch this video, team video, you're welcome to jump there now. Cool. If you're still with me in the chat, or if you're ready to go, it looks like we needed a minute, but now it's been 90 seconds, so I think we're good. If you're ready to go, can you pop a Y in the chat for me, please? Or give me a thumbs up. Awesome, thank you. Amazing, love those thumbs up, thank you. And if you're someone who is willing to come off mute today, like you're in a quiet enough space, you're willing to come off mute, if you could go ahead and press that raise hand button. Christine knew what I was gonna say. Thanks, Christine. Go ahead and press that raise hand button if you are willing to come off mute today and you're in a quiet space. I would also challenge you if you haven't yet, right? If you haven't yet been someone who's come off mute, I would challenge you to consider the option. I'd invite you to challenge yourself. If you know you're in a quiet space, but you've just been a little scared, that's okay. But you don't need to be scared. I try not to cold call too much. All right. Thank you, Christine. Christine, can you read our title today? Can you read our title today?
Evaluating trig functions graphically.
Absolutely. Thank you, Christine. So evaluating, meaning calculating, like literally like calculating a number. Trig functions, meaning sine, cosine, tangent. and then graphically meaning using a graph. Okay, so we are going to be calculating sine, cosine, and tangent using a graph. We did a little bit of this on Thursday, and so we are going to be increasing our knowledge about this today. Does anyone remember, feel free to chat it, the ratio, the fraction that we use when we're not going to use sine is not opposite over hypotenuse. Sine is what over what? Does anyone remember or have it in their notes? What is the fraction? Y over R, yeah, love it. Y over R, for sure. Sine is Y over R. We're just going to review these first ones here and quickly talk about these reciprocals here. What is cosine? What's the fraction for cosine? Yeah, X over the R. Chat's blowing up, love it. X over R. And what is tangent? What is tangent? Y over X, for sure. Y over X. For tangent, just as a side note, sine is really sine over cosine, right? Which is very interesting because then you have Y over R divided by X over R. And then when you like solve this fraction, you actually get Y over X. So kind of cool. So tangent is sine over cosine. We're going to continue to come back to that. All right. Have we seen CSC before? Have we seen CSC before? And if so, what does it stand for? What does CSC stand for? No, we haven't seen it. Great. Thanks for letting me know. Oh, wait, seen it, but we don't remember. No clue. Okay. It stands for cosecant. Everybody be like, what? What's that word? It stands for cosecant. Cosecant is the reciprocal, right? Is the reciprocal of sine. Can someone remind me, what does the word reciprocal mean? Reciprocal. The opposite, reverse, kind of. Flip, yeah, flip's the word. Flip is the word I'm looking for. It's the flipped fraction. So it's going to be R over Y. Yeah, kind of how to undo. The reciprocal, we usually see it in dividing fractions, right? Copy dot flip or keep change, I think is what sometimes people know. So you multiply times the reciprocal, the upside down version of that fraction. Absolutely. We're going to know reciprocal means flipped, and sine and cosecant are pairs. Sine and cosecant are reciprocal pairs. Cosine and secant, right? Not cosecant, but secant. Cosine and secant are reciprocal pairs. So what is the fraction for secant? R over X, yes. We flip that fraction, R over X. Does anyone have any guesses for what COT stands for? Any guesses? Yeah, good guess, Walter. Not quite, but you got almost all the letters. Cotangent. Cotangent. Right. Cotangent. Yeah, no, but you were super close. I love it. Thanks for guessing, Walter. Okay, so we have cotangent. And what would be the fraction that represents cotangent if these are reciprocals? X over Y, yeah, X over Y. Absolutely, these are reciprocals of each other. You might be like, okay, looking at these, if you were thinking about ways to memorize them, what is very annoying, right? Obviously, tangent and cotangent, that makes sense to me. What is very annoying is that cosine does not go with cosecant, right? Miss Name told me that you can look at the third letter. The third letter of each of the reciprocals tells you what sign to use. So cosecant, the third letter is S. So you should use sine. In secant, the third letter is C, so you should use cosine. And in cotangent, the third letter is T, so you should use tangent. I don't know if that helps any of you all. I just always remember that it is annoying that sine and secant don't go together and cosine and cosecant don't go together. That annoyance helps me to remember, okay, sine goes with cosecant, cosine goes with secant. But pretty annoying. Cool. Okay, are we feeling okay with these so far? Can you pop a Y in the chat if you're feeling good? Pop an N in the chat if you're not feeling good and you have a question. We're feeling okay, it looks like. All right, team. Let's look at example one. Example one. So Mia, can you read the directions for example one, this top line here?
Use trig functions to find the given ratio. Assume all triangles are in the first quadrant.
Amazing, thank you, Mia. So we're gonna assume they're in the first quadrant. So I'm gonna draw my triangle like this. And then my question says tangent A equals 3/7. We want to find out what sine A is. Devin Z, if I have tangent A, what is tangent? What is like x over r? What's the ratio?
It's y over x.
It's y over x. Perfect. So I know that 3 is y and 7 is x. 3 is y, 7 is x. So I'm going to go ahead and label my triangle. 3 is y, 7 is x. Christine, how could I figure out what the radius is? How could I figure this out if this is a right triangle? Anyway.
You figure out it's a right triangle because of the little square.
So if I know that, how can I figure out how long this side is over here? Do you remember?
No.
No, thank you for letting me know. Yeah, does anybody remember how we could figure that out? Yeah, Kimbo, Pythagorean theorem, good job. Right, we can use Pythagorean theorem to fill out this side here, right? Christine, do you remember Pythagorean theorem?
Isn't it a squared plus b squared equals c squared?
Exactly. We're going to use x squared plus y squared equals r squared, like that, just so that it matches our x, our y, and our r. Right, this is our radius over here. So Christine, can you help me fill in the numbers that I know?
Um, 3 is x.
Okay.
7 is y. And we're looking for r.
And we're looking for r. Awesome. Thank you so much, Christine. Thanks for going out on a limb there for us. I would argue potentially that your x is technically 7 and your y is 3, but it's not going to change our problem at all, right? Not going to change our y because we can choose A or B. So since we're squaring and adding, so we have 9 plus 49 is 58 equals r squared. Take the root of both sides. We get square root of 58. Square root of 58 is our radius for sure. Okay, now we need to find sine, right? We need to find sine. What ratio, what fraction represents sine? What over what? Careful, Kimberly, we want regular sine, not cosecant. Yeah, y over r, perfect. Y over r. So sine, remember Ms. Namre says sine, right? Sine is y over r. So my y in this case, what is y in this case? Three, yes, 3 right here. 3 is my y, and my radius is square root of 58. Yes, square root 58. You can write it exactly how Gally wrote it. I believe we said it was option V is how we type the square root on Zoom. So if you have option V or, oh, I just sent that to Marley. Option V if you're on a MacBook, or Alt V, I believe. Alt V on a Chromebook. We'll get you there. Cool. All right. So we have 3 over square root of 58. Are we allowed to leave a square root in the bottom? No, we're not. We're not allowed to leave a square root in the bottom. So does anyone remember how to get our square root in the top? How do we rationalize the denominator? We can't square it because there's not another side of our equation. So we'd be actually changing it. But we are going to multiply by square root 58. Yeah, good job, team. Multiply by square root 58, like that. That's going to give us 3 root 58 over square root of 58 times square root of 58, which would be just 58. This is your answer. You might be thinking, like, can we simplify the 58? You can break it into 2 and 29, but 29 is a prime number, so it does not break down any further. Like that. Okay. Any questions about number 1? About this first one? So first thing that we did, I know this feels like a long time ago now. First thing that we did was we marked what we had. The second thing that we did was made the triangle, right? We drew our triangle. Third thing that we did was Pythagorean theorem to find out our other side. Fourth thing was we wrote our new ratio, right? The one that we're trying to find. And then our fifth part was simplifying. Our fifth part was simplifying, or rationalizing in this case. Okay. I'm gonna throw a chat out. I'm gonna throw a poll to you. If you got stuck on one of these parts, if you got stuck on part 1, you're gonna choose A. If you got stuck on part 2, choose 2. If you choose B, so we'll do this. 1 is A, 2 is B, 3 is C, D, or E means you got to the end. E means you got to the end. Where did you get stuck? Where did you get stuck or confused? Stuck or confused? Cool. So it looks like there might be a question around this step here. Basically, the big idea for steps 1, 2, and 3, I was making the triangle. I was filling in that triangle. If you're getting stuck on that triangle section, I'm just using the Y and the X, and I'm putting it on the 7's on the X axis, the 3's on the Y axis. So then once I know what the triangle looks like from step 1, 2, and 3, right, then I'm gonna actually go to my problem. My problem says find sine of Y. And since since sine is Y over R, then I filled in these numbers here, right? If you're feeling stuck on this rationalization part, that is okay. It's from our radicals unit, and we'll continue to practice. But the idea basically is you can't leave a radical in the denominator. So we multiply that by that same one, and that's going to be how we simplify here. Cool. Okay, team, thank you for that information. Let's go ahead and look at cosine B, right? Cosine B. So we're going to draw a new triangle. Cosine B. Is there any brave soul who'd like to walk us through this one? Any of my people who can come off mute, feel free to chat me if you're willing to do this problem for us. Or if you're feeling more brave, feel free to raise your hand.
Don't we label?
Yeah, we're gonna label it first. So what can we do, Kaylin?
Label 1/2 with X and R.
X and R, awesome. You wanna keep going, Caitlin?
Then we do the triangle.
Perfect. We're doing the triangle. I'm drawing it in the first quadrant because that's what they told me.
X goes on the bottom on the x-axis, 1, and then the 2 goes on the R.
On the R, perfect. Amazing. How could we figure out this side over here?
Y squared plus X squared plus Y squared equals R squared.
Perfect. So what numbers am I going to fill in?
Um, 1 squared plus Y squared equals 2 squared.
Perfect. And something I like to do is just like move the 1 squared over here like that. So I really just get Y squared equals, and I can do in my head, this is 4 minus 1 would be 3, right? So less of the like writing out, since this is not our primary skill. We're not trying to learn Pythagorean theorem, we know how to do it, so we can take some shortcuts here. So I get Y equals square root of 3. Kaylin, you're doing an amazing job. You want to keep going?
Sure, miss.
Okay, do it.
And then we gotta find tan B. And then that's tangent is Y over X. Oh, and then we get 2 over 1.
2? 2 is our Y?
Oh, my bad. Square root 3. My bad, miss.
Square root 3, no problem. Over 1. Do we need to write the over 1 part?
No,
So what is our final answer?
square root 3.
Square root 3, yes. Let's throw some amazing snaps and claps in the chat. Amazing job, Caitlin. Great, great job. Appreciate you. Woo! Caitlin, I'm signing your name to it. In my classroom, I would normally have you sign your signature to the problem that you did. Great job. Yes, excellent job. Okay, good job, good job. Okay, team. So we're gonna use this as our basis for continuing. In our next few problems here, the only thing that is going to change, is where the triangle is, right? Where the triangle is. We're going to continue to use the same thing. We're just going to put it in a different quadrant. So for these first two, it said assume all the triangles are in the first quadrant. For these ones, we are going to draw the triangle in the appropriate quadrant, okay? We are gonna do 2 more examples. I'm gonna have us do this first one here, right? And then this one over here. Is that what I want? No, so sorry. I planned this out in advance. We're gonna do these 2. We're gonna do this one and this one in order to like get ready for these 2. The reason that I include these other 2 is because I did them in the video in case you wanted additional examples more. But for your notes, I will just be looking for this one and this one. If you want to go back to the video and watch these ones, you are welcome to. But I know some people like a little bit more examples than others. So these are in the video. We're going to do these 2 together. Okay, let's jump into this one. All right, it says find sine theta if tangent theta is 7 over 24 and our theta is between 180 degrees and 270. If it is between 180 and 270, which quadrant are we going to be working in? Ooh, we have an argument between 3 and 4. Remember, this is 0, 90, 180, 270, and then back to 360. Ooh, yeah, 3, 3, 3. We're going to be in this quadrant over here, right? Remember that we label them in a C shape. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, like that. Okay, so we're gonna be over here. We're gonna be down here, going straight up. Amazing. All right, tangent. It's okay, Kayla. It's all right, Callie. Tangent is what over what? What's my ratio? I don't think, Callie, I don't know what you're doing, but I don't think so. Y over X, Y over X. So 7 is my Y and 24 is my X. Okay, here is my question though. Is it, if we're in this quadrant, what is wrong about 7 and 24 right now?
They're
What's
positive.
wrong about, yeah, they're positive, right? They're positive, but we're not supposed to be doing positive on this side over here, right? We have to make them both negative. That makes sense to me because if they were both negative, yeah, Ale, if they were both negative, those would cancel, right? We wouldn't write both negative, right? But based on where the triangle is, they are both negative. So we're on the negative side and the negative. Is that necessary? Yes, because our answer is going to include the negative in their sign, right? So you might be thinking like, who cares? It doesn't really matter, right? But our ultimate answer is going to be negative because sign is going to include the negative Y and the positive R. Yeah. Does anyone know the like 7, 24? Like what's the third one? What is the radius here? 25, yeah, 7, 24, 25, 7, 24, 25. If you're in Miss Wall's class, that will make sense to you. If not, feel free to use Pythagorean theorem, right? We still will have 7 squared plus 24 squared. You can do negative 7 squared and negative 24 squared. This will give you 625, and then take the square root. 25 equals R, right? So Pythagorean theorem. This is one of the perfect, they're all perfects, I guess. So you can memorize 7, 24, 25, like that. It's a Pythagorean triple. Okay, now that we have that, can someone help me with sine? Who have I not gone to recently? I think I got everybody. Mia, how do you feel? Can you help us with sine? How could we write our ratio?
I think it would be Y over R, right?
Amazing. Yeah, perfect.
So then you would put 25 over 24.
Double check. Where's my Y on this case? Up and down, right? What would my Y be?
25 over negative 7.
Is 25 my Y? We have to go like straight this way.
Oh, sorry. It would be negative 7 over 25, right?
Amazing. Yeah, great job. Great job. Nice work, Mia. Can we simplify 7 over 25? Nah, there's nothing to simplify. 7's a prime number. And 25 doesn't go into it. So that is our answer. Amazing. Amazing. Thank you, Mia, for helping us out on that last step. I think it was Caitlin and Devin who are talking to us about the negative. Amazing. How do we feel looking at this one? I'm going to toss you a poll here. How are you feeling about this topic so far? As you fill out that poll, I'm going to go ahead and move us down to this last one. All right. Looking like some 4s and 5s, which I love always, and then some 2s and 3s, which I also love. We just want to make sure we clear it up with this one here. All right, friends. So this one is slightly different. We're using our reciprocal functions, but not too different, right? So we have cosecant theta equals 2, right? Since it equals 2, I'm going to go ahead and pop it over 1, right? I can turn any number into a fraction by dividing by 1. Someone tell me the ratio, what over what for cosecant? Cosecant is the opposite of sine. Sine is y over r. So cosecant, yes, cosecant must be r over y. Great job, chat. Which quadrant are we in for 90 to 180? Which quadrant are we in? Yes, I have 4 people who are confident that it is number 2. It is indeed. This is from 90 to 180. Right. Okay, so my radius is 2. And my y is 1. My radius is 2. My y is 1. How do I figure out what x is? How do I figure out what x is? Yeah, Pythagorean theorem. So we have x squared plus 1 squared equals 2 squared. I'm going to move that 1 squared over. X squared equals 4 minus 1 would be 3. X equals square root 3. Square root 3 is here. This is another special triangle. 1, 2, square root of 3. We'll talk about these on Thursday. Okay, so we have our triangles fully written. Who can tell me cotangents? Devin, can I come to you? How could I do cotangent?
You use x over y, then it becomes root 3 over 1, but you don't need the 1, I don't think.
Amazing. Thank you, Devin. There is one thing that is wrong about our problem. Devin did an amazing job based on the triangle that I drew, but there is one thing that I did wrong when I put something in my triangle. What did I do wrong? Ah, yes, Marley. I'm gonna wait for 2 more people to tell me what's wrong. Yeah, negatives, negatives, negatives. Amazing. All of you guys did great. Which one or which of my numbers should be negative? Jonathan and Kayla are telling me square root 3 should be negative. It should absolutely be negative, which means in my problem, negative 3 is, or square root of 3 is negative. Square root of 3 is negative. Amazing. Great job. Shout out to Christine, Devin, Mia, and Caitlin, who all came off mute to talk to us. And I think maybe someone else I'm forgetting. I'm so sorry if I forgot you. I have not forgotten you as a human, just that you helped us. And I appreciate you in the chat as well, those of you who can't come off mute. A reminder, if you are still feeling like, oh, let's actually do this. I'm gonna pop out a poll real fast. I'm gonna relaunch this. Tell me where, oh, no, not that one. Don't do that one. That would be silly. Polling. I wanna know, 5 to 5, how are you feeling on this topic after seeing the last 2 examples? How are you feeling? How are you feeling? Great. Looking good. Looking good, looking good. My recommendation, always leave as you're working today. Maybe write these on a Post-it note, right? Maybe write, just take a moment to write all 6 of them down on a Post-it note. The more that you write them, that will encourage you to, will encourage your memorization of them. But put them on a Post-it somewhere, put it on your computer, put it on your desk, wherever you're working, maybe stick it on your forehead or on the back of your hand or something. That will be really helpful for as you're doing these problems, for sure. For your assignment today, you're gonna pop your notes in here like this. So you'll have your notes there. And then number 1 is exactly like our first set of examples, our first 2 examples. And then number 2 and number 3 are like our second set of examples, okay? So there is not a tricky part here. Everything should feel like fairly equal, and all of your answers are here. If you get really, really stuck, please do reach out. If you're someone who's still feeling like a 2 or a 3 after watching the notes today, would highly encourage you to drop by office hours. They are happening starting in 1 minute and all the way until noon. So you can come back after Spanish if you have Spanish right now. Right. Are there any questions about the homework for today? Homework or notes? Any questions? Miriam's good to go. Amazing. Looks like a bunch of us are good to go. Okay, again, we have office hours from right now until noon. Drop by if you have any questions. I would definitely encourage you to work on your, like, to try the practice right now. Don't wait until, 12 hours from now to try it. Don't wait until 10:30. That's my recommendation. Other than that, mwah, I love you. I will see you on Thursday. Thanks for coming tonight and engaging. See you later, y'all.
Bye, Miss.
Bye.